Hello, my name is Scott Kozak, and today I would like to talk to you about the importance of a handshake. Handshakes matter. Nowadays, people tend to want to use the fist bump because they're worried about germs. They don't want to get sick or catch somebody else's illness, so they feel that it's a more sanitary way of showing respect. Well, the handshake will go a lot further than the fist bump, and I plan on explaining that to you as we go through this. We are judged based upon our handshake. If you do it too firm, you may be considered overbearing. You do it too weak, you're timid. You're not confident enough. Handshake is the first impression we get to make. Do we want to convey to somebody that we're not confident in meeting them? We're not confident for the reason why we are in their presence to begin with? Conversely, do we want to make somebody feel like we're more important than them? We don't. You want to make sure that you do the handshake the appropriate way to leave a good impression. A proper handshake can be a positive or a negative self-promotion. Again, if you shake the hand of somebody in the wrong way, you could be sending the wrong message. You may not even realize that you're sending the wrong message. Today we'll discuss the importance of a handshake. And my goal is to answer two questions. Where did the handshake come from? To understand the handshake better, it's good to understand its origin. Did I send the right message with my handshake? You want to make sure that what you're trying to convey is exactly what you are conveying. Before we get into that, let's talk about some of the misconceptions that may be out there. Let's talk about the don'ts of a handshake. You don't want to wait for a woman to shake your hand first. I know that's kind of hard to understand because of the fact that we've always been taught ladies first, women and children first. But in the sense of a handshake, there's different determining factors on who will actually initiate that. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the presentation. But again, don't wait for the woman. Don't try to shake someone's hands whose hands are full. If their hands are full, logic dictates that they won't be able to reciprocate the handshake. So don't do it. Don't put them in an awkward situation where they feel vulnerable. It's just not good etiquette. Don't use the two handshake method. Using the two handshake method can be overpowering. It could almost show that you're trying to convey, I am more important, I am alpha male or female, and I will dictate how this meeting or interaction is going to take place. It's going to rub somebody the wrong way. Again, if you do happen to extend a handshake to somebody and you didn't really mean to, don't pull back. Rescinding a handshake is more offensive than just committing to the handshake. Commit. Don't pull back. Where did the handshake originate from? It is suggested that the handshake predates written history. Earliest recordings of the handshake dates back to the Egyptians. Romans would grab the forearm to make sure that the other man didn't have a weapon. It was almost like a sign of trust. They would shake the hand just to make sure that the guy didn't have a special surprise for him hidden under their sleeve. There's also evidence that shows that the handshake was used in medieval times within the etiquette of knights. Even British nobles shook hands in colonial times. What is the importance of the handshake? It makes the difference between getting the job or not. If you shake somebody's hand in the correct way, you can leave a very long-lasting impression. And if it's a very competitive job market that you're seeking, that could make the difference between you getting the job or not. Too weak of a handshake, and they may consider that you're timid or unconfident, and they may give the job to somebody else. It's also a powerful impression. You do it correctly, it's going to last and burn into that individual's mind. It demonstrates confidence. It's also just the personal connection. It goes above and beyond just speaking to somebody. It's doing that personal touch. Creates a bridge for connection, which is always great for communication. What is a good handshake? Think of a handshake as Goldilocks. You do it too firm, you're showing that you're too aggressive, or that you're anxious and that you're not in control of your emotions. It could also show overconfidence. It could show that you're trying too hard to be somebody that you're not. If you do a too weak, it's going to show that you're timid. It's going to show that you're a shy individual. And if you're trying to go for a job in sales, these aren't really traits that somebody's looking for a candidate. It also shows that you're not confident. You do it too timid, you're making it seem as if you don't feel worthy to be there at that point in that person's presence. The proper way to shake hands. Just make sure your palms are not sweaty. It's just gross. If you shake somebody's hand in the correct manner, but your palms are sweaty, that's all they're going to get from it. They're going to call you sweaty palms. Okay, you don't want that to happen. You'd rather be known as the confident go-getter instead of the guy that just had wet palms. A method that you could use is drying your hands, rubbing them within the inside pockets of your pants if you're standing. Or if you're sitting down, you could even just rub them quickly on your legs. That's a method that I tend to use. But you want to make sure you do that prior to shaking hands. And try to do it in a way where it's not that noticeable. You want to be discreet about it. You also want to stand up when you shake somebody's hand. You want to let them know that this interaction means just as much to you as it does to them. You want to dedicate this moment in time to them, show them that they are important enough to earn your respect and your time. You want to look them in the eyes. Again, if you're shaking somebody's hand and you're looking away and you're just shaking somebody's hand, you're not dedicating any time, emotion, sincerity to that individual. The handshake should last about 2 to 5 seconds. You do it too soon, again, you're conveying that you don't have time for this individual. You're not dedicating enough of your time to this person. But if you do it too long, that's just creepy. The other person's going to think, why do you still have my hand? Don't start a conversation in the middle of shaking your hand. Just shake somebody's hand, say, hey, nice to meet you, congratulations, good job, things of that nature, then let go. Don't hold on to their hand too long. Who should initiate the handshake? The person in the higher position of authority should initiate the handshake. Whether it's your boss, whether it's your boss's boss, let them do it. It's a show of respect. It's also shows them that you understand hierarchy. In the case of an older individual, if the person's an older individual, let them shake your hand. If you're going for an interview, let the interviewer shake your hand. If you have a client coming to your office that's seeking your professional help in some form, then it would be you, because they're coming to see you for advice or for a service, so then you would initiate the handshake. There's no specific science to this. This is just pure etiquette, pure respect. When would you want to shake somebody's hand? You shake somebody's hand at a meet and greet, when you're parting ways, when you say, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Scott. It's very nice to meet you. At the end of the meeting, shake their hand, say, nice to meet you, Tim. You know, nice and firm. Congratulating somebody. It just shows sincerity. When you're expressing gratitude, again, shaking somebody's hand nice and firm, looking them in the eyes, expresses sincerity. Completing an agreement. 2 business partners are in the room, they can complete an agreement, shake hands. You also want to do it for showing sportsmanship. Again, respect. What's the takeaway from this? Handshakes have been around for a really long time. There must be a reason for it. If it works, don't fix it. If it didn't work, we wouldn't do it. A proper handshake is just as important as offering it. Don't shake hands just to shake hands. Make sure when you're shaking somebody's hand, you do it firm, but not too firm to show aggression. You should do it firm enough to show confidence. You look them in the eyes. You stand when you shake their hands. You address that individual. For that 2 to 5 seconds, it's their time. And the handshake is an important part of life. You take this with you wherever you go, not just for business. To convey to an individual, whether it be a boss, a family member, or a friend, that you are a confident, sincere, do whatever it takes to uphold your commitments kind of person, within 5 seconds, shake their hand. Thank you for your time.